And that's where the Alberta Bill of Rights became so important to a lot of people is, yeah, we've lived through that once. We are not going to live through that again. So how do we put legislation into place to make sure that no matter what goes on around us, that the individual has the right, to make those types of decisions for themselves, and they can't be discriminated against because they made a different decision. And again, if people think that the government only does something once when they had that kind of success, you're kidding yourself, right? It's going to happen again. If there's anybody has any other questions, I am really not a hard person to find, as most of you will attest to who've ever reached out to me. If you want to reach out to me personally, Nadine at nadinewellwood.ca, and or send in something to info at on our contact me page. Now, keep in mind, if you're going to go that route, that is going into thousands of comments and inquiries. So if there is something truly pressing, you want me personally to respond to something, I do respond to every email that I get. And you just send me an email at nadinewellwood.ca. Write your question down. If I haven't answered it in this live stream, please watch the live stream first to make sure that I have not already answered the question. But if I haven't answered it and you do have another question, please do send it to me. I am all too happy to provide you with a response. And oftentimes, leave me a phone number. I will often, if I can, pick up the phone and just call you and have the conversation. If that's something I feel is worthy and pressing, and to talk to people is a blessing. It's not an inconvenience to me at all. It's something that I'm very happy to share opinions and ideas with individuals. And we don't have to agree on everything. That is perfectly okay with me. Perfectly okay with me. It's the fact that we don't agree, but we can still have the conversation, because that is actually how you get to the truth of a matter, right? Is to have the discussion and the debate. And maybe I've overlooked something, maybe you've overlooked something, but that conversation, coming from a place of mutual respect, that's how the world should work, right? And so with that in mind, I think we're pretty much at our hour. And I am going to sign off and say goodnight. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening and participating, asking your questions. And if there is anything more that I can answer, again, Nadine at NadineWellwood1905committee.ca. Hit the contact me, and we will do our best to get back to you as quickly as we can. Now, we are a grassroots movement. So I'm really terrible at this. I always forget to ask. But if you don't ask, you don't get. And the reality is 1905 is grassroots, and we are funded by Albertans. So if you like the message, if you want somebody who doesn't mind putting the public pressure on and has got the courage enough to do that, you need to support those individuals. So if you do have a few extra dollars that you can afford, please do donate to our cause. We would certainly appreciate it. We are putting every dollar that we have back into surveys, back into advertising, back into the what matters most, and trying to find out what is important to Albertans, and then applying the pressure and our campaigns to make sure that government is responding to your voice, to what matters to you. So again, if you do have the means and the ability, something as simple as some of that money that has been donated is going back to people who can't afford necessarily to go to an AGM. So if you can afford to go to an AGM, and hey, let's say you want to bring a friend, and you don't have a friend in mind, make an extra contribution, and we'll make sure that gets into the hands of somebody who does want to come and cast their ballot on